had fun going to the Florida. But before I do that, welcome everybody to the Coach's Corner. You have Coach Nate, Coach DJ Jennings, and myself, Coach Harvey. We want to welcome everybody in to this edition. I don't know how we gonna keep it going. DJ said we're gonna keep it going some kind of way. I know football is over with for many of us. I know Nate is partaking in the track and everything else. So we're gonna try to keep it going every Sunday. If we don't do 2 hours, we'll come at least for an hour or whatever. But welcome in everybody. And like you heard us talking about our Thanksgiving and everything else. So, but yeah, coaches, how y'all feel?
Hey man, I'm still doing what I do, bro.
Yeah, drinking and
Motivated, getting ready for this upcoming bowl game.
okay.
Uh, so we need to hit on that, talk about that. Make sure that all our players understand that hey, and parents understand that hey, it's very important that they come to practice
Mm-hmm.
and do the things we've been doing. You know,
It's
nothing
it's
unusual,
it's
nothing
grind
crazy.
it's grind time now.
Yeah, so we don't go down here and get blown out.
Well, uh, I told you I went to Florida, and I have family down there, and that Florida football is something special. We try to we want to compare ourselves. That Florida football is something special. So I asked my cousin's fiance. He coaches football. He coached youth, and he coached middle school, high school football too. Um, and he told me something very interesting, and I looked it up, and I like it, and I brought it to Nate's attention this morning. I wouldn't mind trying to run a 4-2-5 defense just because. And even when I googled it and I was reading and doing the research, even at youth football, that 4-2-5 is something serious. He said because you still got six players in the box, and then you can cover the pass and everything else. So I ran that by Coach Nate this morning. That's something interesting. That's why I need all hands on deck because I think we got the kids and the speed to run a 4-2-5, and it allow us to compete down there in Georgia. I believe.
Yeah, I fellas, hey, yeah, great holiday this time. Just kind of uh, getting back in the groove of things. But I tell you, I like that 4-2-5.
And okay,
That 4-2-5. If you can run it the right way, I've seen a team run it before, which I've tried uh, to run it, and you got to have the personnel to understand.
right, correct,
One thing I did notice, uh, you know, sometimes you can put those defensive backs too far where the other team, could get some take advantage of. You don't have enough guys in the box. You
correct,
got to keep those guys in the box and crowd the line a little bit, and especially in youth football where you don't have to have them, so far back trying to
correct.
cover pass. But it definitely is a defense if you uh work on the angles because it's going to be different for kids because the field is so big. Now you got to try to shorten the field down
Right,
because teams not going to be, just let's be honest, 10-year-olds, not 8-year-olds, they're not going to be passing the ball,
like that.
you know, 40% of the time or 50%, 60% of the time versus teams that when you go older, high school, things like that, middle school, maybe middle school, maybe there's not enough coaches that's even do pushing it that way because the kids got to be able to understand. But I definitely like 4-2-5. It creates havoc when you got some guys that can play defense and be able to tackle in space and teams trying to get outside.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's the main. And they say that's good against the two tight end formation.
Well, it's just like our game.
Right,
We should have walked up. They would get into the outside. They didn't pass out of their formation with the wides. They just tried to run outside, and we should have brought them safeties down. That safety, I mean, if that got that, those cornerbacks would just have to bail and man, we could have did a better job recognizing that hey, that's all they were gonna do is try to just run or overload to that outside and get it. And the last time we were able to stop that, but this time, it worked it to their advantage. So yeah, if I had to redo it all over again, by you saying running at 4-2-5, I really like that. I think that's a great idea, especially when it comes to the outside and keeping that safety outside like that. But how y'all think y'all gonna do as far as trying anything new defensively or offensively this week going? This is a big week for y'all.
I know last week we was working on passing the ball, and I think we're gonna continue to work on passing the ball. We're just working on the different formations, the jumbo, the two tight end, double wing, and the wishbone. But I think the wishbone
Yeah,
was the jumbo.
I don't think we're gonna try anything new. I think it's just gonna enhance what we already have. I think what we do is good. Uh, Unless y'all tell me something different, I think what we do is good. I think we can stick with that. Uh, don't want to get outside myself because I know what our kids know. So we just stick with what we know and we go with that. And if that ain't good enough, then they'll tell us. They'll show it to us.
I think that's the key. You don't have to change up too much. Look, there's only so much that teams can do, even from other states.
Right.
I mean, sometimes we try to complicate football, but man, you don't need to complicate it. I think you gotta stick with what works. You gotta know your personnel. Um, and I slapped myself in the face a few times about, hey man, know your personnel. You've been running the system for years. Had you still ran your system and being able to switch out a certain defenses uh, and just go back to your basics. And as a coach, and so that's the one thing going back to the basics. And I'm mad about that when you don't stick to your basics. What
Right.
got you there? What's gonna help you get there? And man, there's some things that I could have did better. Uh, when like running 6-2, I didn't run that. Um, I should have went in my Utah a little bit more and have my other coach to check out of that blitz. We blitzed a little too much with what wasn't effective. I mean, I'm just mad because I didn't do what I normally do, and I gotta have that control to be able to do what I want to do as far as the fundamentals of listen, man. A 6-2 is a 6-2. Now
Right.
you could have different responsibilities in it, but still running that base set of 6-2, having that nose guard. Uh, I think y'all got some good problems because you got two guys that's very aggressive on the line. Juju and Blake give you, and I know Blake not going. I'm just saying, but he gave y'all an added piece on the line. It's being able to find the other kid that can give you 3 to 4 guys that can really be solid on the line, even if it's a little smaller guy, and that guy may not play that position years down the road. But hey, you can only go with the right now.
Right. And that's it. I mean, and I agree with that. I agree with that. And I do believe we. I think we overthought ourselves out of the game too. Um, but at the same time, I also believe that it was a. I don't know. I don't know if you believe in conspiracy theories or whatever, but I just believe we were we were not supposed to win.
Well, sometimes you can, man. Listen, I can tell you, this league, um, they control a lot of who gets to go where.
Right.
Maybe all the way, but I can tell you in some aspects, they can control the officials can always control the game. They can always be told, "Hey, we really need this team to win."
Yep.
Um, you can look at it how you don't know who knows who.
Correct.
People always say, "Oh, that wouldn't happen." Listen to me. Any and everything is possible, and so you don't know. We don't have no proof that those calls that we had wasn't detrimental to us. We don't know if one of those officials, if one of their family members was the coach of that team. Like these are things you don't know, and vice versa with us, right?
Correct.
I remember some guys that I knew officiating because I was in the military with. and they knew that
Mm-hmm.
I coached. Do you not think that I sometimes we got some calls and
We
it
probably
was
shouldn't have.
legitimate. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You can know somebody that like you as a coach, and they can favor what you do. And I can also know that there's some coaches that, I mean, officials that think you're a butthole as a coach, and boy, they throw the flag every time there's an infraction. So what I'm
Right.
saying is not that they're cheating with no calls, but they could not call something, or or call that phantom hold that they thought it was a hold, but it goes against you.
Right. I agree.
So y'all definitely. I mean, look at us. We had like 8 to 10 penalties in a row. At the end of that, almost at the end of the game, and it changed the outcome of it. I thought y'all got a call when y'all went down to the 2 yard line, a phantom call that, hey man, you don't know who knows who.
Correct. You really don't, man. And because you think about it, they like, man, how can we get eight? You ain't allowing nobody to score on them. Nobody. So we got to get them out of there. I mean, you see what I'm saying? You. I won't say the head of the snake, but you take the head of the snake away, which I felt like 8U was because we was at our best, man, undefeated. You know what I mean? We was at our best.
Well, what hurts you? Truth be told, I didn't mean to cut you off. I just got to interject. What hurts you was that they score and put you in a predicament where the referee can control the game if you score now.
Right.
Think about it. Let the game play itself out. They score legitimately. I believe that. The guy came up, guy caught the ball, guy hit. Now the guy threw 2 flags. That was the controversy, right? Not that they didn't score.
Right.
Is should it have counted? Now, as you let that go, then we gonna say the last minute of the game, unless it's a blatant hole, you can't just throw that flag when we get to the 2 yard line. There's inside. Come on, man. That I just thought that was a bit much. Like, yo, you changed the outcome because now you put a 10 yards back when we were on the 2.
Right. And I know from 2 yard line we would have scored.
Oh man, gonna score, and possibly I would think that 2 point conversion, they would know what's on the line.
Yeah.
But yeah, that to me was the most ridiculous. You see down at our game, it played out where the guy got there, and they didn't call the false start. I mean, not the false start, the moving illegal procedure. Guys moving not set. They
Mm-hmm.
didn't call it. They let the game, no matter what, it was a bad call, but they didn't call it. And I just believe referees, sometimes you can't call stuff. You got to let it go. But the bad thing, they had called 8 penalties on us and didn't call it. So that's why I'm saying you got to call it. Don't not call it.
Right.
Now on y'all game, they threw the flag but didn't call it, and then threw it on y'all and called it. So it's like, yo, if you ain't gonna call it, let it go. In our game, they were calling, they should have called it.
Right.
But I look at it, man, like, look, it was a great season for y'all. 2 weeks in left. Uh,
Yeah.
I mean, 2 weeks after we had the championship and some playoffs, y'all, kind of being able to reflect on the game. Uh, I feel that y'all, but see, the good thing about it, y'all got another game to at least get something out where you can work on a couple things, see if your kids still got it. I mean, DJ, how you feel about that?
Well, I think we're gonna be all right. I just want to make sure that number one, that we have the presence that we need, we have the participation that we need,
Right.
so we can do what we need to do. I think we got the participation. We'll go down there and we'll do all right. Uh, you don't know what you don't know. So until you go, you don't know. So
Right.
we go down here, we play our best, do what we can do, and hey, and sky's the limit. We see where we come at, where we fall at.
And the good thing
But
about
it's a
this,
good experience.
yeah,
Yeah.
the good thing about this is we don't know what to prepare for, so we got to be prepared.
Well,
And
I think the thing what y'all could do is prepare for everything basic, but also make sure those guys prepare for pass because they might just throw that wrinkle in there, trick plays, things like that, reverses, things that's not normal football. Your outside running. Look, if everybody do their responsibility, it's it's things where they trying to trick your eyes. Where we running the ball one way, we gonna reverse it and throw a double pass. I mean, throw a pass. Like you gotta watch stuff like that, reverse pass,
Mm-hmm.
things that's not normal. But guys will do anything to win, so they'll put trickery in just to get a score. But I believe it's gonna be outside running and a little bit of trickery with reverses and things like that.
I think so too. I believe so. I think so too.
Just because it's a big, ain't it a big money tournament?
Well, you figure you got they say 100 teams
That's
in
a
it.
lot of teams, man.
I gotta look back at the
So
flyer.
you get, I think you say two. I think it's say 100 teams. So that means you playing. I don't know what kind of play they're gonna do. If they're gonna do a full game, two full games, or how they gonna do this thing. But that's a lot for 2 days.
Man, when I tell you that's a lot of teams, man, I don't know how they gonna do it. I don't know if they got it by class. I know, of course, by age, but by class. But man, a hundred games. I don't know how you can get the champion like that. I don't, unless it's
Yeah, I don't.
different tournaments. I don't really know how that go. I really wish we had some more information.
Yeah. So I don't know. But
But that's got to be exciting though, having 100 teams that's going to be available. Even if you had 50 teams, I mean that's a lot of competition. I'm talking about, we got 40 teams and 20 something on our side, 20 something on the other side, and that's great competition with just 20 teams. You
Mm-hmm.
figure 100 teams, man, that's whoa, man,
it's
man, you
unimaginable, ain't it?
man. I just not if you talking about. You think they talking about 100 teams across the board, different age groups?
I would hope so. I don't think you can get that many games. I done been to a lot of tournaments. I ain't never been to one that big. Not no not for no weekend. So I
If
don't
you
know.
get 20 teams per age group, so you think they go in single age groups?
You may be. I see. We don't have all the information though. That's the thing.
Because I would think if they go six U, 8U, 9U, 10U, 11 like that, then
Okay,
yeah, you
I'm
may
looking
have
at it.
10 to 12 teams per group, which makes for good football. I mean, because now you're looking at 10 teams, 2 games, everybody gonna play. So we'll get down to the two winners by Sunday,
Right.
which is great. I was just thinking about just guys that they got a winning mentality this morning. I was just thinking about RJ and Hayden, and I was thinking about guys. We talking about these track guys. They're all Americans, so they already on a path of success when it comes to athletic. And with
Mm-hmm.
and it, from a standpoint of RJ, and I know y'all, I just kind of brought this out the blue. I just thought about how talented the 8U team is with guys like that. And it started like that some years ago with some of the other teams where they had guys that were all American in track and they end up being football. Jordan Gidron come to mind. He was an all American in track. And here it is, fast forward 8 years, 9 years later, he's going to the University of South Carolina on a football scholarship. I think about how how these guys are growing and getting better. Guys like RJ, guys, real football guys, right? That
Right.
will
Hmm.
have a track background to make them a little bit better in their sport. But man, by the time RJ and Hayden and Hayden, hopefully if he get it, he loves football, and Marcus, by the time and Ethan, by the time some of them guys get up in age of high school, man, their parents, you know, God keep them on the right path, but their parents going to be blessed because they were able to put them in other sports to help kind of jumpstart their career in their priority sport.
Yeah.
But that's definitely, man, definite. But that's why we encourage kids to do other sports. Don't just stick to one thing.
No, you don't need that, man. You think about the experience y'all getting going to Atlanta. They're getting to play other kids their age in Georgia or Florida, wherever these teams are from, and you get to play another kid that's just as good, probably. But now you can kind of compare those kids.
Yeah,
And if that path keep projecting on the same, you know, scale of, let me just use RJ as an example. If RJ keep projecting on the same from a defensive guy, offensive guy, because right now he can play both really well.
yeah,
And then now he goes against the guy from Georgia or Florida, or whatever team y'all gonna play, Tennessee, North Carolina, and you kind of project those guys of, hey man, if they keep on that same path, they paths might cross again once they get to high school. Meaning, you looking in South Carolina, best guys, North Carolina, Florida, whatever. But you be like, hey man, I remember going down into Georgia. We played some of these teams.
Correct. Yep.
yeah. Because I'm looking at the flyer. They have
Um,
it said over 6 fields at one part. So see all the action up close and personal. We got teams from South Carolina, Tennessee, Georgia, Alabama, Florida. So
that's amazing, man. I ain't gonna lie. I just think kids need that. You need to be able to experience competition. And it was the same thing when them guys went to the Junior Olympics in North Carolina. They were running against teams from Texas, um, California, North Carolina, Georgia. You know what I'm saying? I mean, just some of the top teams in the nation.
yeah,
Even though we came in as the number one seed and didn't quite finish that way in the championship run, but the thing is, we still was All American. We were still in that top eight. They still stood on that stage, and it was a brutal race to get there. And I think it's the same thing with football, meaning they get to, if y'all can just get that first win under your belt
yeah,
down there, and
yeah,
you never know I don't know how many games you got to play. That's what I'm curious about. How many games they got to play in one day? So let's say
But
you
no,
play a morning game, that's first round, and then you got to have some kind of. Hey, it seemed like you would play more than two games to get to the championship.
well, that's the thing. Now, I don't know how they're gonna do this tournament, but I know when we went to AAU down in Davenport, Florida, they played what they call pool play, and what it was, you played a half, and the team that won that half advanced, and that's how they kept you from playing You played a full game a day, but you played two halves. They consider that a game.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. That
Yeah,
makes
that's what
sense.
they did. That's what they did there. Now I don't know how this tournament gonna work like that, but that's how they did it. So you didn't play all. You played one full game the whole time, or one day. So you
But
played a
two
half
games
here.
though, right?
Yeah, it was two halves. You played two halves.
And if you won, you advance.
Correct. Yep, that's how they did it.
And then the next day you would play. So don't they have 20-minute halves or no?
so it's
Yeah, they
kind
had
of
two 10
Uh,
minute halves. It
so
was
it's
two
kind of
10 minute
like
X,
halves.
so it's
I
kind of
mean,
like
two
the
10 minute quarters.
so it's kind of like
X,
the
what you
jamboree,
got?
huh?
What you got on the flyer? 20-minute halves?
Oh, they ain't saying nothing about the fly. It ain't say nothing on there.
Oh, okay, I got you.
I know Tam just put in in the group chat. People got anything about the schedule. Spanker said, because Spanker told me he was gonna find out, but he hadn't yet. So I don't know where we at with that.
Yeah, that's something we probably need to go and work on because I know parents gonna be asking.
They already asked.
Uh, well, I'm sure. I'm
Cause
sure.
you want a schedule, man. You want something that are we playing? And I'm thinking that's what it's gonna be, DJ. Something where you can play multiple. It's got to be something like that. I think what I'm gonna do is call Miss. I got a parent, track parent that kid plays for another team. AYF, I think they play, and they do these tournaments all the time. I want to just talk to her and ask her how is that, because it got to be something, because there's no way kids can play a full game of an hour, 2 hours, wait, and then play another game later on. I was thinking, yeah, what about that, DJ? You have you been to anything where they do it that way?
No, I ain't been to nothing like that. I haven't been to anything like that,
I'm
so
just
I
gonna
don't know.
ask him. Is there a schedule out there? I'm finna just ask him. Hell, I'm on the page.
Yeah, I just was very very curious, because that means you got to start 8 o'clock, One game would take an hour or two. So it makes sense what you saying, DJ, the 20-minute or 10-minute halves, and you just keep them games going on and on and on.
Because we played that morning, then we came back, I think 1 o'clock and played, and then you was done for the day. And then now, but it was 4 days. We started that Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Then we played the full game. If you made it to the championship game, that's when you played the full game. No, I'm sorry. If you made it to the semifinal, then you played the full game.
Yeah, yeah, and this was a 2-day tournament.
It was that no, it was 3 days. It was Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. But we was down, like I say, we was down there for the AAU Nationals, and that's how they did that. Now I don't know about this now. How they gonna do this?
Right. And so I know when we went to Florida, Pop Warner, what happened was we played, but see, it was a week, so you did
Right.
you had a lot of teams, but it would have been a total of 3 games. So we won the first round. Once we won the first round, the second round we had it in a couple of days. I mean, but of course, if you, I don't know, and see, I don't know what Georgia rules are because we probably follow in Georgia rules,
Probably, yeah.
unless the high school rule, the high school rules across the same. They're the same about how many games kids can play.
Right.
But that's not. But see, everybody, all these leagues don't follow high school rules though.
Well, that's the thing, and there again, that's what I come back to South Carolina, state of South Carolina. Uh, we're gonna have to get that worked out because these rec leagues or these AAU leagues or Skyfa or whoever, they should have their own set of rules because everything don't apply to high school rules. And if we gonna still continue, and just like we talking about competing, kids competing. If you're gonna be able to compete, you got to be able to utilize all your kids. And right now, we take a punch in the mouth because we can't utilize all our kids. If we get penalized for playing kids that should be playing, they could either play middle school or play rec. And that ain't to me that ain't fair. I think my opinion is, and this like I said, is my personal opinion. I think it should be up to the parents. If the parent want their child to play, they should be able to play. Or if we gonna follow the high school league rules, then we say 8 quarters. You can't play 8 quarters. But then somebody would have to be there, detail it, and find out who did what, to whom, and all that. So, I mean, it's best to put it in the parents' hand. It's the parents' child. If they want their kid to play, if they sign their kids up to play rec ball or outside of high school, it's just like running track, just like playing basketball, just like anything else. They go do other things. They go do other things. Now everybody know football is contact, so you don't want them playing that much, but that should be up to the parent. We have parents and we know parents. I mean, we the coach been around coaching long enough to know. You got parents that kid all they do is play football year round.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Now do I now do I agree with that? No,
right.
but
I'm
it ain't
not a
my
big. That's right. I'm not a big proponent of playing football year round. I think that is one of the most uh, asinine things that I've seen happen. I call it outlaw football with coaches and guys that's parents that's their kids are playing football year round. If the NFL can't do it, nobody can do it. These are professionals. They can't play year round football. It's impossible. And kids playing year round football, risk of injury and bodily harm over that period of time, year round football, tackle football, that is outlaw football at its worst. And I don't know. That's definitely another topic we could cover about year round football. I don't even recommend year round track. I would never do that. Hey man, we gonna stop. There's a point where we stop. We start. They're like they want to get into indoor. Yeah, we'll slide in maybe a meet here and then start running a little bit, but just full out. 12, outdoor meet every Saturday, and then we got to go into the summer. No, people need a break. Kids' body need a break.
There you
So
go.
I think there's a way to go about implementing. Hey, I want to do a couple of games here and there, or if I'm going to do it, I may do flag football, or I may, and you're working on your skill set there. I may do 7-on-7, which I'm working on a couple of things, but just year round tackle football, or even any kind of football, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, I think that's what
Yeah.
messed up Zion's foot. Um, doing all that damn running year round and shit, the indoor and trying to qualify for nationals and doing all that other type of stuff. And that's why our foot messed up now.
Yeah,
Um,
it's just too much, man. I just
Especially on a
not
high
you
school. Yeah, on a high school, on a teenager, it's too much.
a little. You just need to do a little. And but when they go to college, college is college, right? That's
Yeah,
different, and
that's
people don't
different.
realize college, high school, and youth sports are not the same
No,
when it comes to competing. You gotta get your body used to that.
right.
In high school, and in college,
In
they
high
don't
school,
play 18 games, 17, 18 games, and then play, the playoffs and then play the Super Bowl, right? They got
right.
less games. So it to me, you got to work your way as your body get older, for all of that. And I'm not saying you can't dabble in just a little bit of off season. I call it kind of off season stuff.
But
But
it,
South Carolina don't recognize indoor track.
it's a difference in going hardcore year round, and then you go hardcore for your season, and then in the off season you train. It's two totally different things. When you go on hardcore year round, you're not giving your body time to heal. You're not giving your body time to rest.
Hey, right now with track, like we off today because of the holidays. Just let everybody chill because we got plenty of time. Um, I 1 day a week. Let's do more off season training to get stronger. And now we'll put that on the track. You got to work different aspects of your body when it comes to football, basketball, track, all of that. You can't just do the same thing over and over and over. You got to work on, hey, I need to hit the gym and get a little bit stronger. I need to do some box jumps so I can work on my agility and my quickness
Right, right.
versus I'm just gonna shoot the basketball all the time or throw the football all the time or tackle all the time. No, it is different phases of the game. And so that's why I'm big on all season training, which is different from what we do. When I was going down to Florida, training with the NFL guys, those guys don't touch a football. They're working strictly on speed. And so I would tell any parent that, hey, off-season training don't require you to touch that football unless you're working on specific drills,
Right.
uh, or aspects of the game. Now, this 8U team, it'd be nice if we could get them to stick together. I know a lot of them do basketball, a lot of them do track, different sports,
Right.
but it'd be nice if, as long as they're doing something, so when they come back to football, everybody will be a little bit more advanced or progressed, because they've been doing something besides sitting in the house uh, on the video game or
Ooh,
on TikTok.
correct. Correct. I agree. DJ,
Yeah, I'm here.
you good?
Yeah, I'm good.
DJ, let me ask you what you think about, from an offense standpoint, maybe, and I'm gonna totally change the subject. Next year, going where you implementing a little bit more passing game attack, kind of having a better balance with some of the passing. But whereas, um, for sure plays, when I was an offensive coordinator years ago with Seminoles, I remember, but my kids were older. I remember I had 3 or 4 pass plays that I would always run every game. It's similar to your run plays. I mean,
Hmm.
do you think you can look into that? Is that something you want to try? this year, or you a year out from that? Like where
Oh,
do you start having a little bit more balance?
well, first of all, number one, we're gonna definitely gonna we're gonna throw the ball. I want to be balanced. I want to be pass as much as we run. Uh, with the offense right now, coming up to 10U, they're a little bit older, so they can do little bit more. So
Yeah.
we're gonna definitely go to shotgun. We definitely gonna throw the ball a whole lot more. Uh, just making sure we got the people that can catch it, because we had kids that can, we got some that can't. I mean, that just be real. So hopefully in this off season they working on catching the ball, catch the ball with their hands and bringing the ball to their body, things of that nature. I would love to get together with the kids at least once a week, maybe twice a week. Our skill players, and just work with them. Just work with them. Uh, Offensive line, we got to find us. We got to get, and I know we got kids on the 10U that probably gonna stay down because they can't go up to 12U right now.
Uh,
So we'll be all right. But teaching them our blocking scheme, let them know, hey, this who you block, this who you got. What's why you open them the holes. And when we do pass, making sure they don't go down the field, making sure the people that's supposed to go down the field, and get themselves open so they can get the pass. Uh, I think we got one of like 10U quarterback coming back.
yeah.
So we got a couple of guys coming up that can throw the ball too. So we're in a good. I mean, I think we're in pretty good shape. Plus, like I was saying before, and y'all correct me if I'm wrong. I think we're gonna see more kids this year than we ever seen because now they know we in the league and they tired of where they at. I mean, just like we're gonna have people that leave us, and we hate to say that, and I wish them nothing but happiness and pleasures wherever they choose to go. But we gonna pick up kids too that seen us out there, know what we about, that seen us and they want to be on the winning squad. So hey, they can come on. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I
I
yeah,
agree with you, man.
I'm looking forward to that. I like our core kids.
Right.
Um, that's what I look forward to more than anything. I'm not gonna lie. I look forward to our core of kids and keeping them together, and hopefully they'll stick with us, and parents will, and we'll win. We'll eventually win the championship if we stick together.
Yeah. I think we can win it next year.
I can tell you that. I can tell you that. Um, I know in this season coming up, track, I'm gonna really hammer my track guys to really be really fast, really explosive, like from that first step.
Yeah.
And so therefore, when they take it in football, they're gonna be fast from the get go. I'm gonna really work their start and work a lot of their explosiveness that way. So down when they come back to football, they'll be so fast from their first step that they can transition it into football. That's because that's what I want to help them do. I feel these kids. I feel that eight group could be wrong. It comes in cycles. The eight group is the next best high school group of kids.
Yeah.
So the 12's gonna go. I'm hit or miss with my 12s, 11, 12 group, right? High school. I'm
Mm-hmm.
hoping. But I feel 10U is a hit or miss right now as well. I feel the next best group is the 8U class across
Yeah.
the board now.
Yeah.
Across the board, this is all schools, all kids. That 8 group, that 8U group is going to be a good group, meaning when they come to high school, scholarships are going to be plentiful for that group if they stay on the right path. It
Yeah.
always depends on that. If kids don't play, of course they're not going to get a scholarship. But I'm talking about if kids keep on their same path.
Oh, correct. Because this that after COVID too. These them after COVID kids.
There you go. And so you figure opportunity for some of these kids are going to be so great.
Right.
Um, and I tell parents, if you got a son now, if they don't, which I believe they're gonna do it because I believe people are greedy when it comes to the kids getting money. If they don't cap it, the kids gonna be able to make so much money in college that it's gonna set them up financially. So I think you're gonna have some kids that's gonna go to some of these schools that, hey, Clemson, it won't be no longer Clemson and USC. It's gonna be a whole bunch of other schools.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's gonna be benefiting. You can see it now. Look at parity across the board yesterday with some of the top teams losing because parity of players that transferred in
Yeah.
uh be able to make money. But I always say high school, these little kids at 8 years old right now, the it should be greener on the other side once they get to high school, and they're gonna have an opportunity. Their opportunity, is gonna be better as far as
Correct.
them being able to, you know, not only go to school for a degree in business, but then also get paid to provide a service to the school, which is football or track or whatever. They just increase scholarships across the board with some of the schools, so that's a good thing.
Yeah. Yeah. My daughter was a recipient of a scholarship at Bethune Cookman, so I'm happy about that.
I mean, look at that, Harvey. You got a daughter with a scholarship in track, and I mean that to me, man. Some parents don't have to fork out all that money for college versus your
Right.
kid was able to provide a service. Because I don't believe it's free. Like bump that. Don't be saying it's free. Kids
Yeah.
provide a service to the school for their athletic talent
Exactly.
versus just free. No, that ain't that service. What they can provide to the school will put them in a better situation financially
Yep.
as they get older. Because I try to tell people all the time, the light bill is going to be due. The kids
You
don't
got
know
that
what they
right.
mean. They're like, Coach, what you talking about? I
Okay.
said, when you get of age, I said, you come back and talk to me about that light bill being due. I said, every month on
Hmm.
a certain day, boy, without providing that payment to them folks for that light bill, it's gonna be due, and you'll see. Because
Well,
sports is only a foundation of where you're going. It ain't gonna be a career for 50 years,
Correct.
but like you said, Nate, they gonna know because if they don't pay it, they're gonna be in the dark.
brother.
That's
That's the key word right there. That's what I be wanting them to know. And some of them come back and say, Coach, that light bill due.
that's
I
right.
said, I know. I told you. I said, because life will hit you. I said, you was a kid 15 years ago. I say, now you're a grown man. You got kids of your own. You see what I'm
Mm-hmm.
talking about? Meaning when that athletic career is over and now it's time to, be that adult. I say, we all been through that.
Mm-hmm.
I said, there ain't a man or a woman alive that, hadn't played sports that they thought that thing was gonna last forever, and life hit them. And so
Yeah.
that's what all we're trying to do is put these kids. Think about it. We're doing this at 8 year old, providing a foundation for kids 8 and under, because we know what's on the other side when they become of our age,
Mm-hmm.
and hopefully we can give them a good foundation where they may want to provide back to the community,
Correct.
and give back, because it doesn't stop when we stop in a few years. Somebody else got to take over.
Right.
And
Exactly.
I would hope that they would be providing the same type of service versus not doing it. You know what I'm saying? Not having time.
Correct.
That's what bothers me about some parents that don't see the big picture, to be, hey, your kid might be able to provide that same service that we provide. And because I believe God give you longer life sometimes when you doing stuff like that. When you provide back and you not asking for nothing in return, because hey, ain't none of us promised tomorrow.
Mm-mm.
You got that right.
So, that's kids too. So it's like, nah, some kids gonna provide, do this, or do other things just to help.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so grateful for our team and our organization, the Ravens. I think it's been a really good situation for us. I'm already excited about next year, man, and we just finishing up this year.
Yeah,
Correct.
I'm with you on that.
Yeah, I'm interested in seeing what's gonna how it's gonna unfold and how it's gonna take place. I know I know Spanky got to sit down. We're gonna pull everybody together and talk about this. What we gonna do? But
Yeah,
I don't
yeah, I
think.
think that's gonna be big. To me, that's the biggest elephant in the room is where are we going from a coaching standpoint, coach wise. You know what I'm saying? I'm really, really looking forward to that talk because I mean, I don't know where I'm gonna be. I know that we've already talked about some things, maybe joining together and doing some things, which I like the 8U group out of the if I had to do it and just myself, I would say I like the 8 group the best. For some
Right.
reason I can relate to those kids and I think they relate to me and we got a good bond. I like that. I like that bond. Not taking nothing from the other kids, but it's just certain kids. And I got a lot of track kids.
Right.
The reason I look at that, I really want to be able to coach a lot of my track kids. I've never had that opportunity to coach that many track kids. Like I'm so excited because the last team that I saw coach that track like that in Pop Warner,
Uh huh.
they won a championship in high school together. Those kids.
Okay.
And
Man,
man, when I tell you I look forward to this group of kids,
Oh yeah.
I'm like, boy, if that can be that team. That was Dutch Fork first championship team. They won a championship together.
oh man.
And Spring Valley, their group of kids couldn't get out the third round, one game from the semifinals. But I never did get a chance to coach those kids, even though I coached them in track. But this is the first group of kids that I got most of, most of them.
Right.
Now we need 2 or 3 more of those 8U. I'm not trying to tell people that we're the best coaches out there. I don't want to toot my own horn with that football thing, but I would love for the rest of the 8U to come over, the 2 or 3 kids, and then they all on the same team with each other.
Oh yeah. Because that 10U team, when we go to that third year or that second year coaching 10U, I think that's the year we should go to D1. I think them boys will be ready. We talked about it.
Man, when you talk about that team, I think about that all the time, X, because me and you have talked about that. But I do believe that next year is a year of, hey, how far can we get there? But
Right.
that second year of 10U, I believe that's that. I believe that's their championship year. I'm not saying that we can't do it next year. I'm just saying you got to. This team been together one year. Next year be 2 years, and then that third year they'll all be back together.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so it just like I'm like, yo, man, it's phases to the thing. In the 8, you really, 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 really got a good chance, man.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I don't want parents to. I know parents got to move things like that. You can't control where you're working at,
Right.
but I hope that if they're around this area, that if they kids still love football, that they would want to do, continue to play. But that's the thing about these kids. Let's talk about that. How do y'all feel about kids nowadays? Football is not the priority for a lot of the kids. They could care less about playing football.
Well, I mean, think about this though. And when I look at it, I go back to it because uh, I can use my sons for example. Now, my boys play football. They play football and baseball. They never played basketball. That's something they was interested in. Something they didn't never play, but they played hell out of baseball. There, baseball and football they played.
Oh, what's up, Coach Spank?
The My son Darian. Now, baseball his thing. I mean, play shortstop,
We
second
play on.
base.
We got a game on Saturday and we got a game on Sunday. Coach Spank say
Okay, cool.
he in the
And
he in the chat.
and
Ah, go ahead. I want to say something about him.
Okay.
so we he played baseball. That was his thing. Well, he had a toe in his rotator cuff at one of the practices. So he's out for 2 weeks. And when he came back, after he was well, came back, coach never played him like he should have. So my son was like, "Well, Daddy, uh, I'm not getting back in. I go in, I pitch run for somebody, but I'm not getting in the game like I should and like I was before." I said, "Well, you want me to say something to the coach?" Well, no, Dad, don't say nothing to the coach. No, you don't came to me now. I got to do something. I got to at least ask the question. So when I approached the coach, I pretty much sent him an email and I said, look, how you doing today, sir? Whatever, whatever, whatever. Just was inquiring about my son, Darian. Uh, Baseball this thing. And I see he ain't getting in the lineup as much. What we need to do to work with him to get him back in the lineup, you know, taking the high road. Well, the coach hit me back and said, well, Mr. Jennings, I appreciate you contacting me. And, most time parents call me, but it beat me up. But he said, no, you didn't. You just asked me. He said, well, I hadn't been playing him because he quite not getting the ball back in the diamond like he should. And I want to make sure he's well before, we put him back, give him all the responsibility he had before. Now, do I believe what the coach said? Hell no. Because I see what he did. But I said all that to say this. When kids not being used like they should be, they tend to go do something else. So what did my son do? Now his senior year at Spring Valley. Here I'm thinking, all right, now baseball season about to start. What you gonna do? He had told me during football season, he said, Dad, I'm just gonna focus on football. I'm not playing baseball this year. Now that what he said there, because I think he was mad. So I'm thinking he mad. That's why he
Right.
ain't play.
Right.
Shit, shitting me. Baseball season came and went. My son ain't said nothing about it. Now football, you pay that $50 athletic fee, you good for all athletics. Baseball, whole different story. They want at least $500 for that kid to play to get all this stuff and everything. You don't get
Hmm.
all the sponsors and boosters and all the things you get with football. So, needless to say, after that, he said he wasn't going to play. I said, well, sir, he said, I'm dead. I'm going to do football, and I'm done football. I'm going to work. I said, well, all right, sir. Well, hallelujah. Do what you want to do. And that's how his baseball career ended. Which, if he'd have had the right pushing, the right motivation, hey, he probably would have stayed out there. But it's just like football, man. Kids are doing other things, man. They seeing other things, and then they realize that football ain't what they think it is. Because it's hard work, man. It's
Yeah.
hard work, and you got to stay. You got to be dedicated. You got to be in that gym. You got to put them weights up. If you want to be good at what you do, you got to put in the work.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I believe in that. I believe that you got to put the work in. Uh, Dude, these kids nowadays, they're putting in the work. Remember, they're playing 7-on-7. They're running track. They're getting personal training. I mean, man, listen, because it's so competitive, right? You talking about neo deals where kids in high school can come out and potentially, make tens of thousands of dollar or more for that service. So that's definitely going to be competitive. I will tell you this: uh, Coach Brown been around a long time, and I always tell him, and I know he didn't believe me, but I always say, "Hey, man, I've seen a lot of coaches out here, but I'm telling you, you're the best to ever do it in this youth football thing around here because your longevity and your winning record, and still to this day, he's still I think the best to do it because of going into a new league and being able to get a couple of teams to the playoffs and championships, the organization as a whole, I find that very successful. To me, it's not all about winning. It's just about preparation and how the team you have them prepared to play to get to the top. And we were one of the top organizations in the whole league itself. I don't know that a league just came in and won right off the top. I don't even know if the league even like that. You know what I'm saying? Like would want a team to come right in and win versus they would love for them to come in and be highly competitive, which we did. Uh, but I certainly tell you, Coach Brown, when it comes to youth football, is the best to ever do it. It's like Knox on the youth football level, but I think, he's at middle school too, but it's time for Coach Brown to go straight to high school. There's some got coaches that's what they do. They just good at coaching and they need to just go out there and stay in the community and elevate their game to the next level. I think he's ready for high school. I used to go to all these games around here, high school wise, and some of the coaches they didn't know X's and O's.
Correct.
So you gotta have guys that know X's and O's. And I don't know that Richland too give these guys a chance the right way, but I certainly think Coach Brown should throw his hat in for any head coach from a high school standpoint. Throw his name in there, even if they don't give it to him. Just keep interviewing because he need to be running somebody's high school organization, and then he'll get the support he needs.
Yeah, we said this last week. He should put in for the Spring Valley job. He knows the kids, and he gonna get people that want to come play for him.
If I had a son and he was the coach, I'd be like, you going there.
Oh yeah,
Like it zero, 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 zero fault. Nope, you going right there. We know he that guy right there know how to win. He gonna put you in position to get noticed. Because think about it. If you're winning and you're a high school guy, college is gonna come look at who's winning. Now, the coach it's up to the coach. I think some coaches don't help kids, right,
right.
in high school. But I don't think Coach Brown like that. I think Coach Brown, if he was a high school coach, he would welcome college coaches coming onto his campus and wanting to know those kids. Because he has a son that's really good, and I think gonna be really bright one day when he
Uh-huh.
get to high school. And so I look at like guys like that, man. You know that they're there for the kids
Correct.
because this ain't no money making thing. Like you
No,
spend more money, he probably has lost more money than he has
earned.
gained with trying to provide a foundation and outlet for kids for the last 15 years, 12 years
Correct. I
with
agree.
Yeah, and
Ravens, right?
I can
This ain't the
echo that,
Dallas
bro.
Cowboys where you making money, you selling your merchandise. He just barely, boy, again, he's spending his own hard earned money trying to help other kids that's not his.
Right.
And so, I mean, him and Erica, because they do it together. But I can tell you, youth football is one of the hardest thing, and he's responsible for a lot of these kids
Mm-hmm.
uh doing going to where they going or getting to where they're getting now. And I know DJ was a part of that back in the day where some of these kids successful, his boys are successful. But these kids, man, they gotta have that good foundation of people that's helping them be better than they were.
Man, then and they just you know the coaches and Coach Brown. I mean, we all started right around the same time. I mean, I remember Coach Brown was the the dynamite coach, and he was looking at us like we was crazy, and we were. We used to do some crazy things we did back in the day, but we can't do now. We can't do it
That's
right now.
right.
right.
I mean, they had child protective service down there on us, but I'm telling you the God honest truth, man. The man deserved a high school coaching job.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and I don't know where he want to coach at. I mean, because he got to want the job too. But I'm telling you
Right.
right now, any high school in District Two that get Coach Brown, they gonna have more kids they know what to do with, and he gonna be successful because all the kids gonna come there, and I damn sure gonna send them there. I
Hell
said, if
yeah.
you wanna learn, you better go over here. Don't go there.
But see, I want to interject and also say this too. He doesn't also push for the children to get better. He indirectly wants the coaches to get better. Because, well, I'm gonna say at least for me, because this was one thing he would always say. I just want some good character guys. I said, all right, cool, I like that. But I went to him 2 years ago. I said, well, I don't want to be just a good character guy. I want to be a good coach too. And he told me, he said, you're gonna have to start studying. You gonna have to know why you do what you do. Like he's like, Harvey, you run good schemes, but why are you running these schemes? I was just like, shit, fuck, hell, it looked good at the youth football level. Hell, it looked good. I mean, shit. But now when I moved up to 8U, I had to realize, shit, I ain't on the field with these kids no more. Now why am I doing this? So damn, I said, well, shit, let me reach out to Coach Nate because now I have to become a student. I have to evolve. As a defensive coordinator, I had to evolve, and as a head coach, I had to evolve. So I'm like, shit, I better lean on the experience. Brought you on DJ, the experience. You know what I mean? So when we get in them tough situations, I can be like, shit, I'm concentrating on defense. You got the damn offense, just don't fuck it up.
Well, I can tell you, me and Coach Brown been together so long.
Hell
We're
yeah.
comfortable in what we do together. Now, I've always wondered in the perfect world, um, I could bet money on it that me and Coach Brown, if he was the head coach and I was his defensive coordinator, I've always thought in that perfect world that we would have success at the high school level. But I know we, hey, somebody would have to give us a chance. But him, I think that's his calling. I
Yeah.
probably won't coach high school football, but I would certainly support him, and I know he would bring his own guys in. But I always told him in that perfect world. But I do think that I went to middle school. I coached that 1 year middle school to
Uh.
see if I just needed to prove that I could do it at that level.
Right.
And I was able to get that team to the championship, and we lost 6-0. And so I knew that I could do it at that middle school level. Now he didn't take it to a whole new level at the middle school, and I learned from him. Harvey, you say you learning from me.
Yeah.
I evolved because of him. I'm still learning because I'm not in middle school anymore. I just
Right.
did it that 1 year and was
Correct.
successful. Right. I wanted to take my schemes and I advanced it a little bit. I know DJ been in that middle school, high school realm as well, but it lets you know some of these youth coaches can coach. Now,
Yeah.
I will tell you this: I've seen some of the youth coaches now; they're starting to coach middle school,
Right.
and I see that they having a little bit of success. Now, Coach Brown have had lots of his success. That's why I know he's well on his way. He's graduated. Yo, you're
Yeah.
too good at the middle school level. You didn't won championship. You ain't got nothing to prove if you didn't win the next championship because you got too many under your belt as an offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
Now it's time for you, high school. But like you said, DJ, he gotta want the job too. You can't go to Spring Valley if
Right.
they ain't got the kids and the
Right.
school ain't gonna give you,
What you want?
3 to 5 years of like, yo, I gotta get all these kids out and get my kids in. So
Right.
we're gonna take some bruises, for the next 2 or 3 years,
Well,
before we can get some kids.
well, Coach Nate, let's just tell the truth. Any win he get at Spring Valley, if he was, if the good Lord blessed him and said, "Look, Coach Brown, I'm as dumb as you, the head coach of the Valley,"
Uh.
any win would be better than they did in the last 2 years.
Hey
Cause
man,
they
that
they
part
they done,
is
they done,
true.
they done got run over. So if he go up there, and just get one win, he's still better than everybody else that been there.
I did.
Man, you ain't lying. And like you said, I think some kids would transfer and go straight there. They would be trying to live in the district
Yeah.
to go there. I know he think that's far fetched, but because he
No,
know a lot of
no, it's not.
people in the community and because a lot of people trust him
Oh
and
yeah.
and know about his level of expertise in football, man, it'd be hard for guys that's not coaching with him to be like, shoot, Spank, that defensive coordinators and offensive coordinators now to say I'm going over there. Now I think Spank may be his own offensive coordinator in high school like Knox is, but I definitely know he would get some of the top coaches around here that's coaching now to come over and say, no, I'm going to be a part of this. I got to be a part of this right here. He would get us as
Oh,
volunteers to help him. He would be that first coach that reach out to the community and bring the youth football teams to be like, you can use my facilities for stuff
Right.
because every South Carolina, especially District Two.
mhm.
District Two is one of the worst districts when it comes to partner with youth associations to allow them to build that partnership. Georgia, North Carolina, Alabama, all these other states are doing it, and some of the counties except Richland too. Now, I'm not saying they don't let us use it for the games, things like that. No, I'm talking about building a real partnership where with the youth, so we could advance the youth to not be in the streets, to get more in youth
Right.
sports. You got to look at the bigger picture, and I'm not saying everybody's like that. I'm just saying I don't see it being a priority. Now, if they say that, then they're not talking to us. I don't see none of them coming to the games trying to say, hey, we're gonna partner with them. But I do know that there are some good people that work in the district that wouldn't mind doing that if we maybe reach out to them and try to work that. I've always wanted to meet the superintendent and some of these other folks there to try to say, hey, this is what we got going. How can you help us and how can we help you? Because I told a referee one time he was acting crazy during a game, and I said, listen, sir, do you know what we as youth coaches do? We keep these kids active playing sports, trying to behave so they won't knock you in the head because they ain't got nothing to do. I said, you remember that now. I
Exactly.
said, the next time you out there yapping, that young boy say something crazy to you, you remember I told you we keeping that from happening more often than not by
Absolutely.
being here. So please don't. Yeah, we doing this at no cost.
Exactly.
I said, so, please keep that in mind that that's why we passionate about being out here and doing this because we're keeping kids uh from being idle. Idle-minded kid is a bad situation.
Exactly.
They're
Hell
shooting
yeah.
in nice neighborhoods now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I
Well, that's the
never thought
thing.
I'd see that they'd be shooting in nice kids that live in nice neighborhoods are shooting in their own neighborhoods and in surrounded areas because the parents ain't saying, hey, get your butt and play football. You ain't got no choice. I wouldn't give him, if I had a son, he wouldn't have a choice.
So
I
you
tell him when he's paying that light bill, that's when you get a choice.
so you mean tell me
I
I'm
know
be
that's right.
so you mean tell me I'm be stuck with Mighty Mouse for the next 4 years? No, I'm just kidding.
You need to be. Mighty Mouse need to be playing football, crying every day versus he get tough because guess what the streets do? Make him tough and make him become a kid he's not.
Right.
Let him cry and be on that mama's milk as long as he need to. He with us, he in a safe space,
Well,
right?
yeah, I agree. I agree.
And he grow up to be a little bit better.
I
Don't
agree.
give them choices. I don't believe in giving kids choices like that. Once they get a little older, high school, you got to start letting them fly a little bit. But right now, up until they 13, 14, she ain't got no choice.
You're right.
I'm with you.
Cause Gabriel ain't had no damn
Uh,
choice.
Mine ain't
Yeah,
had no
he got
choice.
to.
Yeah.
They got to play a sport. They got.
Yeah.
I ain't saying they got to play football. I'm saying they got to do something. No,
Right.
you ain't gonna just sit in the house and play video. You don't play a
Oh yeah,
sport.
yeah. You gonna do something?
Look at Gabriel. He playing basketball.
Yeah.
You'd rather him playing basketball than sitting up in the house with an idle mind and somebody say, "Man, let's go hang out. Let's go start." Blah blah doing. Nah, heck no, man. Keep your butt playing basketball. You around at least a controlled environment. I'm not saying sports is the safest environment. I'm saying you hope that they getting some discipline and some instruction on how to be successful and lead a productive life versus getting to the streets and deciding to do things that's not right.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I agree.
Yep.
I agree. Coach Spanker said we will win. He said ain't no
Oh
doubt
yeah, ain't
about
no
it.
question. Ain't no question about it. He got some of the greatest minds ever coached little league football.
Uh-huh.
Shit.
Man, I love
say,
that guy.
say it
I
with your chest.
I
Say
would
it with
love
your
I
chest.
would love to be on the staff just for the experience.
Hey, that guy. Hey, Coach Brown. That guy. He now believe that he believe it now. Like I see it when he talk. I ain't never see him talk so much. Do you understand? He used to be the quietest guy, wouldn't even say one or two words. For these past couple of years, I'm like, this cannot be the same guy. This guy talk. He give inspirational speeches. He's a motivator. He don't love that word. He don't like that. But boy, you a motivator, Coach Brown. You motivate
Oh,
kids.
Yeah.
Whether you believe it or not, you are instrumental in being that motivator to get kids to play for you and to want to do well. So man, that's how you making an impact in this community, man. Everybody's not doing that. I
Right.
know
no.
coaches that running kids away from the sport,
Yeah.
Yeah,
and that's not right. But man,
that's
what you
true.
doing is he's bringing uh, atmosphere of love and compassion and passion to it, man. I love his little talks when he say, "Hey, I want everybody. I want to be honest and be real,"
Yeah.
because he gives it to them unfiltered, the real deal of life,
Yeah.
man. And
Right.
life
Right.
is hard when you're talking about what we deal with as football players, right?
Yeah.
Right.
And what he talk about is football and how it's going to deal with life, like in the football world. Hey, if you dealing with the band world and instrument, that's a different world. If you
Right.
dealing with tennis, that's. but what we do dealing with it, what he dealing with is that football world, and we gotta focus on that because that's what the main course is, football.
Yeah.
It everything in it is a part of that pie, but the football is the big piece, and everything in it and how you can make it intertwine is there. And so his talk about that in that football world, man, it's great, man. I love it.
And
Absolutely, man. And he hit on it. I mean, it's raw, it's unfiltered, and it hit home because it's the real. It's real. I mean, you ain't gotta like it, but it's real, and
Well,
that's
that's
the
where
realest it get.
you better be 100% real about this thing because if you got a son right now and they playing football, the competition is so high because not only do you got to compete with the rising juniors and seniors, you got to compete with the kid that says, "I don't like the school. I went to a school that it was too advanced. I went to South Carolina, Alabama, or wherever, and that was just a little out of my league. I'm not getting no playing time. What I'm gonna do is step it down and I'm gonna go to this school." So now you gotta fight to get in Wofford and Newberry and some of these
yeah.
smaller schools. And I'm like, Lord, boy, you got to fight to get in them schools now because you might have, to me, you should be going to a school where they say you're gonna play. It
Exactly.
looks good to go to some of the bigger schools, but it ain't if you're a 3, 4, 5 star, even a 2 star, you sitting on the bench. I'd rather be a 2 star playing somewhere than a 2 star saying I played at Clemson.
And that's the beauty of college football right now.
Especially
You're
with that
seeing a
NIL
lot
deal.
of teams. You're seeing a lot of teams, and you're seeing a lot of kids that used to go to the big schools like Alabama and Tennessee, all these places, them big time programs, Texas, all them programs, and now they're going back to these smaller schools, and they're playing and they're getting paid to do it.
Man, getting paid and doing a good job and maybe being able to advance their career to get a shot at the NFL. I mean,
Right.
I look at South Carolina State. I'm sure that coach over there got some guys that certainly could be at different schools, making an impact. But he making an impact over at South Carolina State, with those guys. And so you start thinking South Carolina State is a great place to play.
Oh yeah,
Um,
no
you know what I'm
question.
saying? So you should be trying to go to any of these schools trying to play because especially some of the smaller schools because they just as good as the bigger schools.
I
Man,
just hope,
Florida
I
State
s-
hurting right
uh,
now. But go ahead.
I just hope
well,
that around the state, that these college coaches are looking at these kids around the state and trying to keep these kids in state instead of letting them go somewhere else. Because a lot of good football players in this state at these high schools. A lot of times we'll let them go, then they'll go to another school and come back and beat the brakes off our teams here in the state.
true.
So,
Well, I can tell you this, DJ.
mhm,
I can guarantee you these coaches now in these colleges, they not gonna do that. They not gonna let. I don't believe Beamer or Chavis, the guy at State. I don't believe they'll let those top kids get out without talking to them. You know what I'm saying? Now it could be greener passages on the other side where they can't keep a guy, but they would. I'm looking at, and I just use South Carolina because they right here in where we are.
Right.
But
right.
Beamer looks to be trying to reach out to more of the kids around here and getting the kids because he got 3 or 4 kids coming in now, and it's like, nah, this is a different breed of coach, man. He's been around, and I'm not just trying to be funny, but I can just say he's his dad coach, right?
Right.
Correct.
Dad has some of the best players ever.
Right.
Hmm.
I
Michael
think
Michael
Beamer
Vick,
has
ain't it?
been around enough blacks to know he has built a good relationship with them to where you get kids to believe in what you're doing and you get those kids to come to the school and not just those kids, good character kids that can play ball.
Right.
Because South Carolina definitely has recruited some good character kids that's doing really good when it comes to playing football.
Right. You look at
You
the
know what
Northern
I'm saying? So
Right.
that's an important key. So I believe every kid in this Midlands area, their parents would have to look at South Carolina as a spot that maybe we gonna go there because the culture has shifted.
it it probably has.
It has.
It has.
It has. Uh,
Imagine if Benedict, South Carolina State, USC, Claflin, all those schools were just kicking ass and just relevant because they got some of the top kids around here that they were, like you said, DJ, they don't have to go out of state no more. They can stay right here and be like your Gremlins and FAMU, some of those schools that can get some of those top kids. I mean, Bethune Cookman in track. I saw them come up here a couple years ago and whoop South Carolina in track. Bethune Cookman. Harvey daughter went to Bethune Cookman. They get now. Bethune is a different animal. They got some of the best
Yeah.
track kids in the country because of the program. But I'm just saying, the HBCUs, it's gonna be a different look. But Bethune Cookman is a school that I listen with my own eyes. South Carolina is a D1 school, top kids. Bethune Cookman came up here and ate them alive because they have some top kids. So I'm just saying, here in South Carolina, you'll be able to keep your kids. There's no reason ex daughter should have to leave. And but I understand greener passages, things are a little bit different. It
Yeah.
work out a little bit for some kids to leave, right?
Yeah.
Bethune
Well, I
Cookman is
mean,
a great
if they,
track.
if,
You
And,
got
and,
some of the
if
top track programs you don't go. Go ahead, DJ.
well, and the thing about it, I ain't mean to cut you off, coach, but
No, go ahead.
and then the money got to be right too.
Yeah,
If the best opportunity for them to go is number one, they going to school.
right.
Number two, they got to go with the best opportunity that's best for that individual.
right.
So maybe home not where it need to be. But my thing is this, especially football, 20% of your base should come from your whole state.
Yeah.
If you ain't recruiting your home state, you got a problem. Because especially if these kids are leaving your state and going playing for the Georgias and the Floridas and the Florida States and all the world and coming back and whooping your behind, Alabama, all them people. It's been too many kids that I've seen leave the state of South Carolina and go other places because and the only time in South Carolina, Clemson, and the other schools, they'll wait till after somebody else is already pulling their chain before they get on board. And by that time, it's too late. Kid already made a decision, signed a letter of intent, and going. So hopefully, with this NIL deal and everything else that's going on right now, they can keep a lot of kids in state because they need to play for their home schools. It's a whole lot easier for everybody around.
That's
Now you
right.
got to choose. You got to choose between Clemson or South Carolina. After yesterday, you probably go to South Carolina because Clemson gave that thing away, boy, yesterday.
Yeah,
But
yeah, certainly. I know that was a lot of talk, and South Carolina looked really good. Clemson definitely unfortunate part and gave that game away. They looked good to a standpoint, meaning it was a good game defensively. Their defenses played really good.
right,
Offensively, they played decent. But man, the defense was great, and the Lenore and Seller kid just outdid the Klubnik kid. But both of them quarterbacks look good. I was like, wow, man, they both look good. South Carolina was just a better team yesterday. But boy, I tell you, man, that thing could have went either way because Clemson got down there and missed that and threw that interception. But that boy made a
he
heck of a play on the tip ball.
he did, he
And
did.
hey, I hope it showed the kids, boy, don't give up. You play to that whistle because he don't make that play. I believe Clemson tie that game up, and you never know how overtime go. Look at the Georgia
No, yeah, Georgia Tech game, yeah,
man, what you talking about? 8 overtimes, and you
Oh
just never
wow.
know how rival games gonna go, but it let you know you got to play to the very end.
Well,
exactly.
I knew how that Florida State to Florida game was gonna go.
Well, we don't look as good because we just can't make seem to make plays, and I believe unless he can change it around a little bit,
Sure.
that might be
Okay.
the end of us for the next 2 weeks. I think you got to give him another year or two. But I think he slowly hurt that program. Just I don't know if he got what it takes to keep kids. I don't know what's going on there, but oof, that's a disaster, man. He destroyed Florida State in 1 year, and
Well,
I don't know what it is.
I think the fact that he lost a lot of kids too. Now, let's not forget that he lost a lot of kids
He
going
did,
pro and
but
moving on
but
and
he,
hitting the transfer portal and stuff like that.
but he losing recruits though, man. Why you can't keep the recruits to say you can play now? I need you right now, and maybe he's doing that, but Man, man, I don't know, man. I think they reacted too fast by giving him a contract. I still think Florida State made a mistake not giving that job to Dion. Dion would
Mm,
have had them 10 years in advance. But see, they couldn't see the future. That's like trying to see Amazon and not recognizing that Amazon is going to be great, right? I
right,
think they didn't recognize that Dion, yo, the times have changed. These COVID kids, I call them post-COVID kids, right?
Uh-huh.
right.
These kids are different. So you can get a coach in there that just he well connected to the community and he know his stuff and he'll bring the coaches in because he's gonna get the kids. Florida State could have been where Colorado is times two if they would have hired Dion with no experience and say, "Yep, we hiring you. Come on in right now." We believe, but they didn't do it. They wanted to go with the status quo of, you got to do, man, come on, set your program back 3 or 4 years.
Yep.
You wanted to win 1 year and set it back 3 years when you could have, Dion could have came in there and you could have been moving forward right away because you saw the writing on the wall that times have changed. Look at Nick Saban. Nick Saban got out of there before that Neo deal started going crazy. He's like, I didn't have enough. I didn't want. I don't need to prove nobody. I'm not gonna recruit. I'm not gonna recruit that hard with this what I done and money. I'm gonna let them younger guys do that.
Well, Nick
Right.
had already been doing the Neil deal before the deal started.
Right, right,
Everybody just
right.
didn't know. Hey, no way, where you gonna tell me you got kids come to your program, stay in your program. Now, one thing you can say about Alabama, kid come there and stay at Alabama 5 years, they going pro. They
That's right.
9 times 10 they gonna go pro.
Oh yeah,
But if you, how many kids make it pro? About 200, 200 something every year, a little bit over 200 make it every year.
yeah,
Out of all them kids that come out of college,
yeah,
so if I can make a substantial amount of money while I'm still in college, and my degree is paid for.
yeah.
So I'm leaving college with a substantial amount of money, and I don't have no college debt. So what's that doing for kids that come to college is getting them. That's why it's very important that they stay in college and get the degree, so they'll know how to handle their money once they get on the house, once they're done.
Ooh, that part. Gosh, man, ain't that a part that has killed the
I
black
mean,
community where they don't know how to handle their money because they make they don't know how you could turn $300,000 a year into a gold mine just by
ooh,
investing and saving
well,
versus we buy so much product meaning that don't have no value. A
right,
$200,000 car that has lost mostly all its value when it go off the crazy.
yeah, but that's the thing. The reason they do that because nobody, if it just like for me, example, I didn't come from money. My dad owned his own business. My mom didn't work; she was a stay-at-home mom. Too many of us talking about some daycare back then. There wasn't no daycare. The mom was daycare. She made sure she took care of the house. Pop took care of all the bills. Now my pop had his own business, had his business 50 some years. Did great. Put 6 kids through high school. But once we got to high school, Pop looked at us like, hey, now I was the second oldest. Pretty much said, look, all right now, what you gonna do? What you mean? Well, you graduate, don't you? Yes, sir. What you gonna do? I had a choice. You either going to work or you can take your ass military. So that's where I went in the military. So I went serve country, did Marine Corps and everything, got out, came back. But just like I say, kids today, you don't know. So if you can graduate, so if you don't come from money, people that can tell you about money, how to invest, and all that stuff. That's why it's very important that you stay in school, that you get your degree, and you learn something. So when you come into a lot of money, you understand how to use it, how to use money to benefit you instead of going against you.
Mm-hmm.
Because like you said, Nate, you go buy a damn $200,000 damn car and all these rimmed out and everything else, and look good for the time being. But like you say, election bill gonna be due. All the other
Eh,
stuff will come along with it, and it comes back to that. Don't nobody care about it. You doing it. A lot of people do that just to get looks. They want to be look good. I don't give a
Right.
damn about looking good. Put that money in my pocket where I can buy what I want, eat what I want, go where I want, do what I want when I want to. And my kids taken care of. I ain't got to worry about them. They call me and need something. I got it on hand.
That's right.
That's the kind of freedom that I look for. And that's what I would tell my kids. Look, man, it ain't your time. Sometimes you got to take the L. It's all right to punt, regroup, come back. It'll be all right. Every now and again, you got to do that. But, the generation we see now is a right now generation. They want it right now. I got to have this. I got to have that. I got to look this way. I got to feel this way. I got to be this way. And you don't have to. You choose to.
Hmm.
Yeah. And that's what we got to teach kids. You know, like, yo, you don't have to have a $200 pair of shoes. uh Society may try to paint that to you that you need to go buy these, but do you know where they came from? Do you know how much they actually cost, and you paying 200? They add no value to what you about to do right now. They
Nope.
can't make you any money. If I could change some things, I never was flashy anyway like that, but if I could change some things, I would want to tell some kids, no, don't do this. Invest in this right here. Invest in this right here. You need to look at what's gonna happen 20 years from now versus the right now of buying something of $400 for the purse or the shirt or whatever. It adds no value to you. I'm wearing the same pants for $10. You wearing $400 pants. We at the same place, and what's the
Hmm.
purpose of 400? Just like you said, Jenny, just to look good.
And you ain't looking good for yourself. You look good for somebody else. You worry about what somebody else think.
Wow,
One thing
that's
I
a
learned, one
good
one
job.
thing I learned a long time ago. Damn what everybody else think. I buy what I know I can afford. And now, when I go splurge, it's because I can afford to do it because I work my ass off. Like I tell people all the time, man, I got what I got because I worked my ass off. Ain't nobody give it to you. You work for it. Now, if
That's
you
right.
willing to go out there and go balls to the wall, do what you got to do to get what you need to have, then you do what you need to have. You get it.
Hmm.
But when you have an opportunity to go to school and you can make money while you in school and your degree is paid for, man, that's a blessing over blessing.
Yes,
So,
because that's why we into these sports. Hey, fortunately, you can be smart in school. We want that too. What we deal with is kids that's gifted athletically that can, hey, you can get your school paid for. And I'm a big proponent of getting your school paid for if you can provide that school service, because financial debt, we want to be free of that financial loan. That
that's
loan,
right.
that student loan, boy, that thing hit you over the head, and you don't want that. So what you want to do, hey, let me use the school. I'm gonna get a degree that I can use.
Hmm.
Certainly you need to take a finance class, right? To know how to
Exactly.
balance, to get your money right. But even if you got a regular job, we need to teach that. But you got to make sure that you one edge up versus down. With you ain't got $150,000 in student loan. Now if you a doctor, something that's you probably can make that money back, and you ain't got no choice. I understand, but certainly some of the kids that went to college, football wise, didn't take advantage of the scholarship that was provided. Like they didn't use the schooling, like, oh, let me get it in business, take some finance classes, or shoot, let me, something that just can help. And we need to kind of educate our kids on that. I try to educate the kids now with track. I try to tell them, make sure you going to school where you can either own your own business, or you can certainly get a job that you can make money. You don't want a psychology degree, but you ain't using it in psychology.
Right.
Right. Because you have people that go to school and they'll just take something and then realize once they graduate, well, I got this degree, but it don't pay anything. Well,
They don't they don't
it happens.
realize that services or are big thing. If let's say you didn't make it to the pros. But boy, if I was a plumber, electrician, or something, even with a degree, and I had that as a little background job, man, I might be just as rich owning my own electrical company, or I should say electrician, having that company, and then being able to provide, because that's something that's gonna never go out right now,
Exactly.
or being a mechanic, something that you can be like, look, I'm gonna own my own auto shop, or I'm gonna, own some type of business so you can make money versus all we doing is working for somebody and giving our money away. Unless they want to join the military. I don't frown upon that, because you can go to the military and get some college money too. I kind of condone that, since we all military guys as well, that hey, you got to know how to navigate all of that. You can do all three. Go to college, military, all of the play football, you can do all of the above.
Well, the thing about it, like I tell people all the time, man, I was probably one of the biggest persons. 'Cause I watched my dad, and I share this with everybody because I watched my dad have his own business and be successful having his own business. So my thing was, man, you don't need no college degree to do this. You ain't need this, you ain't need that. However, as time went on, the right mindset started sinking in. Yeah, you might not need it, but it's always good to have it because Billy and Johnny, they got theirs. Now, who you think they're gonna get a job to? Somebody that got the college degree or somebody that don't? Even if they don't like that person, they're gonna give it to that person because that person got a degree.
Okay.
So,
Yep.
and you know where we live, and everybody over here know where we live. Let's just be real.
Right.
Every day is up here struggling, trying to get in the positions that you think that you well qualified for, but you don't get the position because little Johnny know got an uncle or cousin or somebody that's on somewhere high up, and they go on hand it off to him, and he don't know nothing about what you're supposed to be doing. But the kicker is they want you to train him.
That's right.
So that happens all the time, man. So that's why it's very important these young men just don't understand, man. So when we out here telling these young men, look, man, go to school, do what you're supposed to do in your school. You're a student athlete. Student athlete. Student first, athlete being second. Now, you use the athlete part to be their vehicle to get you where you need to be, but you
Hmm.
still got to perform in school, man.
That's right. And it's so important for them to get their degree so they can move a little bit differently. And man, hey, we not having those avenues, and I tell high school kids all the time that shouldn't be no option. Don't be telling me you don't know what you're gonna do. Yes, you do. You're gonna at least go to college for that first year, knock out your core classes. That's what you're gonna do. You got to do that first. Because when they tell me they don't know what they're gonna do, I say, yes, you do. You need to go to school and knock out them first credits. I don't care what school it is, as long as it's college, to knock that out. And hopefully within that first year, you'll know what you need to do. But don't waste time not getting those first knock that English 101. I said, boy, when I took English 101 in college, boy, it's the same. You're gonna be writing some papers, but knock that out so you can get that part out the way. And then if you decide to go back a little bit later, you'll at least have that some of that stuff, them core classes out the way, because you got to take them.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Unless, but some of them can take them in high school. Hey man, knock that out in high school. We need to promote that, man. We need to promote kids, but we need to promote it in a smart way, because uh college right now getting kids in so much debt
Yep.
that you got to be smart about that thing, man. You got to know how to navigate that thing,
You're
because if
absolutely
not,
right.
well, you'll be in so much debt, man.
And
Paying on something you ain't even using.
I was blessed three ways. For everybody, that was my daughter. She came home for the weekend. Her grandfather had passed away, but she's about to leave to go back to Bethune. But yeah, I was blessed. She got a partial track scholarship. She got a partial academic scholarship, and the rest of the money that she didn't have, I had Chapter 35. So she's getting a stipend. She's getting money while she's in college. Plus, she got NIL deal. So she don't need to ask me for nothing. I
But that's a
did my
beautiful
part.
thing.
Yeah, I
That's
can't.
that's a blessing, though, Harvey. That's a
Right.
blessing to have all three avenues plus Neil. That's four ways
Yeah.
of getting money, so she won't be in debt, man. Like, yo, no
Right.
debt. I can
No.
graduate, and now I can make the next move, which which I'm trying to promote. Next move is, hey man, we got to figure out what can make money, because a lot of things we don't own. So we would look at saying, hey, telling the kids, hey, you need to do some investments a little bit, or
Right.
you need to buy some property like land,
And
because I'm, I'm sitting in, you know, a parking garage or something, you know, all the time. And I'm
right.
like, boy, if you just own the land, I can knock the parking garage down and lease it, to be
Something
uh,
else.
something else. But that land is so valuable, man.
And I had to remind myself. I'm glad we on this because I had to remind myself of why I'm going to school. Because sometimes you can get tired, and I should have been finished
Mhm.
school. I'm retaking classes that I failed that I should have been finished school by now. But anyway, I'm going to school to get a business degree with a concentration in contracts and acquisitions because I want to one day start a sports management company. And what I mean by a sports management company is like we coach, but I also want to teach these kids finances because here's the thing what a lot of people don't understand. If a 21-year-old or a 22-year-old can't handle being a millionaire, what the hell make you think a 17-year-old can handle being a hundredaire?
You got that right.
Man,
I
let me
think
tell
we'll
you,
put that,
they,
coach. Like,
they won't, because they won't be able to handle it, brother. And they'll look at the world. The world tells them to go out and spend money on
Exactly.
$50,000 brace necklace, and just stuff and clothes, $500 sweaters, things that, man, it got no, again, remember that stuff got no value.
Right. None.
But we try to make pretend like it has value. But you're right, man. A 17-year-old, at 17 years old,
Making $100,000, two hundred
I
thousand dollars.
know that 100,000, they would be just going buck wild on getting every pair of shoe and video game that they could.
Yeah. So I want
And
to
you
teach
got
them.
to kind of
No,
go
I'm saying
ahead.
I want to teach them how to manage their money because guess what? You might not make it to the NFL. You might not make it to the NBA. You might not make it to the WNBA. You know
Well,
what I
nine
mean?
times out of ten, they're not gonna make it.
yeah,
But
it's,
it's
it's it's more
always
things
the one.
against them.
It's the 1%. The
Right.
1%, and that's why you prepare them not to make it. But if they do, that's a plus.
That's a
I
plus.
told a kid that went to the NFL one time. He said, "Coach, you always said I needed to be fast to make it." I said, "You wasn't my most likely to make it to the NFL." I said, "That's your story. Don't pretend like you was gonna make it to the NFL. That's the 1%."
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So Harvey, what you saying is exactly right. Don't, hey, we gonna prepare you as if you're not gonna make the NFL. But if
Correct.
you do, then you already
That's good.
prepared of when you get there how to be, how I can make this money work for me, because the
Exactly.
window is what? A short window, right?
Yeah.
You can't get in the NFL and think you're gonna be the kid that I'm talking about. He only lasted about 4 or 5 years.
NFL
But
stand for
guess
not for
what?
long.
It's the truth.
Exactly.
But guess what? You're making 300 to $1 million a year. Save, invest,
Yep.
so when you get when them 3 to 5 years over, you'll be able to grow that money and do something to now. Oh, I'm good now.
Start your business.
What
Man,
kid can't? What kid can't use when they 17 if they stacked 100 grand in the bank in a savings account, let it grow. And I'm just giving you this just a very simple example. I'm not no investor. I'm just saying, but they had a nest egg, because the biggest thing all of us need as adults, we need a nest egg of money.
Mm-hmm.
So when we get older, we'll know, this what I should have been doing.
Mm-hmm. I'm trying to catch up
well,
like
then
right
another
now.
thing. Well, another thing, Nate, too, is working a job. Most jobs you work, and if you're blessed enough to stay on your job for 20, 30, some 40 years at the same job, that's a blessing in its own right. But at the same time, at the end of the day, when you do want to retire, you should be able to retire and be able to live the rest of your life doing what you want, when you want, how you want it.
Yeah, I
Not
agree
have to
with
worry
that.
about bills. Not have to worry about how I'm gonna pay this or how I'm gonna pay that. Whether I'm gonna have enough money for medication or whatever. It's too many times, man, in our community that we don't have what we need. And instead of retiring, when you retire, you think you retire, you're gonna retire to a better time, and that's not the case. That's why a lot of people continue to work.
Hey, that's true, man. I think you know, you know, being that some of us, we trying to understand that where it's like, nah, man, we looking at like retirement, and we looking at when we get older, like how we gonna move. Where I got some friends right now, man, they didn't retire, and man, they just, bro, they making more money. They chilling. It's like, man, you got to make sure you put yourself when you get older. If you don't want to work, you ain't gotta work.
Right.
You can move a little bit different, you know what I'm saying? Because guess what's gonna be due? Boy, you can be 70 years old and the light bill still gonna be due. Man, I listen, I talk to old people all the time, man.
Mhm.
And ain't no one of them not told me that the light bill ain't due that's got their own house or own apartment or whatever they got, condo or vacation home. They still all tell me the same thing. The light bill is due.
you you right. You're right.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
that's come every month on time, in full, without complaint. And all they want you to do is pay it. And as long as you pay it, you ain't got no problem. But you don't pay it. But one thing I will say about SCNG, they will Dominion now. They'll send you a little notice and they will call you. But after that,
Yeah. Hey, what you say? They will call you, but they telling you it's due. I
yeah,
give you more time. But
it
hey,
is.
they gonna give you more time, or we gonna give you 30, 60 more days. But at the bottom it said amount due.
That's
You
right.
need an extension, amount due. But a light bill is gonna be due. They don't say, well, Mister Mister Gant, we see that you can't pay today. We gonna go ahead and let you not pay. they
No, that ain't gonna happen.
they don't do that.
No, they don't do that. Unfortunately, you might want to invest in some candles because what you gonna be, your ass gonna be in the dark. You mess around.
Brother, with 20-degree weather today like it was. But you
Oh
got to
man,
have that heat on. You got to have heat. And then in South Carolina, with 100-degree weather, you got to have AC.
you gotta have the elbow. Got to.
You got to have that air in South Carolina. Cause boy, we was still been hot up until November. So a lot of
Yeah, no.
things are, we hey, that light bill gonna be due. That's my favorite saying. That light bill is gonna be due.
That's it's coming. It's coming. you, you ain't never said that ain't right, boy. You said something then, boy. Yes,
Bro,
sir.
Life is life for the kids. I think that's what we are. We try to teach these kids right from wrong. We try to help the parents. Hey, we the village, because I still think it requires the village to help raise the kids, right? And hopefully we help and raise them into upstanding citizens where they're not getting in trouble and you got to visit them in jail because uh, you know, also often we go down that road of having to visit our kids, in jail. I mean, we make up majority of the prison system, so we definitely don't want them there. We want to keep them out of there, and we want to keep them just being productive young men. I mean, I hate when any of the kids get in trouble, man. So it's all about
yeah,
making sure us keep these kids from just hey man, be productive. Do what's right, and so you can move forward. Because hey, I tell them, I said, boy, all right now, it get lonely when you ain't got no. Because I don't know how the kids would survive without TikTok and stuff being in jail. They probably go. That's why they probably have so many phones in jail because they kids just need to be occupied with TikTok and social media.
Well, the thing about it, man, I don't even want to go down that road. Just do halfway right. You ain't gotta do all the way right because
That's right.
life is gonna pull you in different directions. But if you do halfway right, you'll be all right. And
That part.
people that are looking out for you, especially your parents, your uncles, your aunt, whoever taking care of you, your grandparents, whoever's taking care of you, going out the way to making sure you be where you need to be and doing what you're supposed to do. If you just treat them with respect and do what they ask of you, you'll be all right. And
Hey,
that's all
brother,
we can ask. That's all we can ask.
that's a beautiful thing, man. Because nobody's perfect, and I never have once told the kids, "Hey, you got to be perfect." Hey, nobody's perfect. You're gonna make a lot of mistakes in life. Just make sure that we teaching you not to hang with them bad. I always tell them, don't hang with the bad crowd. Do not go down that road if somebody telling you to do wrong. No, no, no. You better stand up for yourself and say, no, I'm not going there. And then that way you can bounce on. I say they're not your friend. I always try to tell the kids that so they won't feel peer pressure, to
But
like go down the wrong road because kids can make kids feel bad. And that good kid make them do something that they really don't want to do. I always tell the kids, if anybody on this team is trying to make you do something that's not right, let me know. I need to know because they won't be on this team because we don't need nobody trying to pull them into some foolishness. You know what I'm saying? Because we
exactly.
know that's not going to end well.
Correct.
Well, well, I tell you something, man. I laugh, man, because my son was over here earlier. Uh, he said, he said, Daddy, them boys that played with you, that you coached in the middle school and high school, they still talk about you. I said, well, that's a good thing. He said, I'll never forget that. We was over there at Westwood and we was in the locker room and we had won the game and everything. Game was over with and everything. We was in the locker room getting dressed. They said, well, look, and they called my son Dre. He said, Dre, we going out. Man, you gonna come with us? He looked at him. Said, man, you know who my dad is. He said, no. So the boy told him, oh hell no, Coach Jenny, no, you better take your ass home. You better take your ass home because it's gonna be a problem if you come. Because I already know what he gonna do. So, and I said all that to say this, man. Is even when I see a lot of the kids that I've coached before, see them at the Walmart or see them in town or wherever I'm at, Best Buy, whatever. A lot of them don't even play football no more. But they don't went on and graduated college and got their own family, and like you say, Nate, that like Bill do, and they doing wonderful. Now we got some that's on the latter side that didn't quite make it, but they still all right. They ain't in jail or nothing. But they're just not doing what they should be doing. And we gonna have them people too. So
You you are
we,
you gonna have those, and we try to. I try to tell some of them. I'm just around kids so much, man. I'm always telling them something just about life because I know what life is coming at them. But I think that's the main thing, brother, is just trying to keep their head above water and be like, no, you can do it. You can be what you need. But it makes me feel so good to see the kid that's doing well. And I ain't saying they got to be millionaires. I'm just saying, yo, well, you're able to pay your light bill every month. You're able to pay your cell phone. You're able to afford gas. Like, hey, you're able to, if you got a daughter, provide for your daughter, and you eventually gonna grow. You'll be still. It's phases to this thing. I tell them it's phases to this thing now.
Correct.
I say what you want to do, you want to see. I just was telling the kid about a couple weeks ago. I said what you want to see. I said you want to see where you are now and where you are 20 years from now. I said as long as I'm getting gray hair, that means I'm on this earth. I said so that's where I want to be. But I said, but if you don't see me, that's when I got a problem. I said, as long as I'm seeing you, that means I'm getting older, you getting older, and we both on this earth. I said, but boy, that's what you want to do. I said, you want to be able to say, see, go back and see the other kids that was younger than you still on this earth doing good. And hopefully you'll be putting yourself in a position as you become older, you'll be able to put yourself in that position of, hey, now you got a house or some on your own because I know it's tough out there. Some kids got to stay home now. They might have to stay home till they 30 years old because it's so rough out there. The world has gotten so bad with how much it costs. But good, look, the good thing is we as parents can be able to help our kids for as long as we can until they can say, hey man, I'm ready to stand on my own 2 feet.
well,
Yeah.
being in a position, and that's a beautiful thing, Nate. Being in a position where you can still help your children, and they
Yes.
don't have to. And I mean, sometimes they're gonna make everybody ain't perfect. They're gonna
Right.
go do some things that probably ain't in their best interest. But being in a position where we can still help them, and they understand. Look, all right, man, yeah, you shot your best shot, but that wasn't good enough. Now it's all right. Like I said, it's all right to punt,
Right.
related back to football. It's all right to punt. We playing field position. Come back, regroup. Let's talk about it and let's get right, and you'll be all right. But you got to listen to what we telling you now. Don't just go out here and just do reckless stuff and bring harm to yourself. Let me know what you got going on. We can work from it, and we can rebuild.
Correct.
That's
Correct.
that's right because
Correct.
they gotta learn life. Kids gotta learn life and how it will hit them. How you should have doggone put that money on that cell phone bill, but you chose to go to the club and spend it on us and doggone it.
Yeah,
Now your phone bill due and you need. But I get all that. As long as you able to tell that story and you not behind jail talking about, well, I did, nah. But we can get through anything as long as you not then did something crazy. And that's what I try to tell them. But you're gonna go through some things now when you're out there on your own trying to learn how to pay bills. But that's why I know they ain't teaching the kids the right way to say, hey, how to pay the light bill? How you pay your phone bill? How I take this $500 and make sure I got enough to last me. They got to learn that stuff. Financial literacy is, man, they should be teaching that in school from day one, but they
they
still
don't.
to this day don't teach kids to be financially responsible once they get out of high school of how life gonna hit them.
Right.
Nope. And that's
And I wish we
unfortunate, but
had
that's what
more
it is.
stuff like that. I wish we
Yeah.
had more stuff to be able to help kids and teach them, man. But they just not teaching people kids that, man. You got to have a good background, a good village. I still think of us as the village because we are helping these young men, uh, these young boys to become better men, hopefully one day.
Oh yeah. Ain't
Yeah.
no question about it.
And it take us all, man. Somebody uh told me they appreciate me for being the village. I said, man, that's one of the things I pride myself. I
That's right.
said,
Yeah.
being the village. I said people don't want to realize that. But if I saw your kid out there being bad, I hope you don't mind me telling them, hey, you wasn't raised like that.
Exactly.
Exactly.
You know
Don't
that.
don't do that. Don't do that. Don't be out there thugging in the street. You ain't even come on now.
You ain't
You
built like that.
that'll hurt your mom and dad if they know you out here doing that, and then you pretend that. Don't do that.
Right. Correct.
Yeah, don't do
Cause
that.
that gonna lead you down too fast. They're gonna lead you where we gonna have to wear a black suit, and I don't want to do that. I don't want to bury no more kids that I know because they wasn't able to wrong place, wrong time, or just cause. And that's what you got to be fearful for your kids. So, Dennis, I appreciate you saying you tell your no, you can't go, or they because you not worried about your kid doing something bad. You worried about the knucklehead that's gonna just shoot into the crowd, and you don't know if it's gonna hit your kid.
And all behind some foolishness 99.9% of the time. Foolishness.
Yes,
Some girl done told them they look good and they went in some with somebody else or some dumb shit. And that's how you on the news. And we
that's
should
right.
not, our kids should never be on the news for no foolishness behind that. Uh, I feel like we got some real smart young men, especially to play football for us. They smart young men. They can do anything they want to do. They can be anything they want to be. There's no reason for them to be out there acting a fool and or get caught up in some foolishness. Because you got some individuals out there who don't think they should have what they need to have or whatever they need to do or got to take something from somebody. You ain't got to do that. I tell my boys all the time, if you can't ask for it, you don't need it.
Right.
That's right.
If
And
you can't
and
ask
that's
for it
another.
and you can't pay for it, you don't need it. You ain't
That's
got to take
right.
nothing from nobody. And
You
I've been
right,
telling my
man.
boys since about knee high to a fly. I mean, and my mom, dad told me the same thing. You ain't got to take nothing from it. Even change on the table, change on the table in the house. If you want it, ask for it.
Mm-hmm.
You ain't got to take nothing.
That's right, boy. You get to taking, man, get to stealing and taking things that's not yours. Cause I try to tell the kids all the time, people work hard for that. You should be able to you leave your $150 sneakers around these your teammates, and those sneakers gonna be right there. Or your teammate will grab them for you and make sure you get them. Because we don't need to take nothing. Don't be stealing. That's the worst thing to have a team, and that's what we got to teach the kids. It, we got to teach them more. And I'm gonna end up, we do really good with the kids we got of saying, hey. Make sure everybody's stuff, watch out for it. Don't take nothing. We got to push that as an organization as well, just so we can make sure we letting people know, hey, this is important stuff right here. Make sure
Absolutely.
that you don't steal from your teammate. Your teammate should be able to leave that $10 out there, and that $10 will be right there because you ain't got to take it because you know somebody on the team would provide that for you if you needed it.
There you go. Yeah, you ain't got to take nothing from nobody.
No, that's so good, Janice. I appreciate you mentioning that, man. It just these are things that we need to teach our kids and tell Coach Brown, hey, talk about those things too, because the kids need to know that they don't have to do that. And be
Oh,
like, hey, it ain't mine. I don't need that. That ain't because shoot, you could go take that kid could take that $20 and then somebody could rob. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just too much bad can go wrong. I always believe karma can come back to you on certain things. So nah, man, let's just help people,
If it
try
don't
to
come,
do what's right. So, we can continue to get many blessings.
yeah, if it don't come
yeah,
back on you, it's gonna come
absolutely.
back on your kids.
Man, what you talking about?
Man, I gotta get ready
So
for
that's
Absolutely.
this
why
work play tomorrow, boy. God, I've been off all
you
week.
gotta do what?
I've been off all week. Get ready for the work to go back to work tomorrow.
Hey man, some of you got it like that. You get to take a week or two off and just relax and not like you ain't got nowhere to go, and then now you can't go back to work because you been off too long.
Yeah, yeah. I'm talking about. I ain't had that. I had to work last week, so it is what it is.
I ain't saying that when you took off for a whole week last month.
I'm gonna take on another week too, cause I got some time I got to burn.
Oh,
I know that's right, man. I need to burn some time and but it is rough trying to. But you know what I do? I try to keep busy during these weeks. What like if I'm off, I take on a little project and do that so I won't just be sitting around. Cause boy, I felt myself, boy, I was like, boy, I could get used to the sitting around, feet kicked up, watching the game. I was like, that's too easy right there. Let me not get used to that.
well,
Yeah.
what you talking about?
But it's been a real one, fellas. I enjoyed it as usual. I think we had a really good time. I hope people enjoyed it. I
Yeah,
look forward to talking next week after y'all big game and finding out the 411 on that is that's gonna be very interesting as y'all travel to take on teams from all around the country. That's gonna be exciting just to hear about it.
Well, I don't know if we're
yeah,
gonna have it next Sunday because we playing. We're gonna be
yeah.
there.
We gonna be playing Saturday and Sunday, so
He'll be what Sunday after next.
yeah. So
hmm
we'll have to talk
Oh
about it
wow,
Sunday after
that's
that.
right. I
Yeah,
forgot about y'all gonna be there Sunday. Hey, hopefully y'all will be playing in the championship game and can tell me about it because
yeah.
I'm excited about that.
I seen the rings and everything. They got the rings online and everything. So
Okay.
so ain't you get it got a little title time, got TT on it, and it got a football and the stuff on the side of it. That's it. But hey, if we go down there and win it, man, hey, hey, I think we can, especially if I can switch to not trying to overthink it, but we run that 4-4 and we perfect that 4-4, and we think teams run that switch to that 4-2-5 or even the 4-3. I mean, 4-3-2. I'd be happy with the 4-3. I mean, uh, and just have two single high safeties. Make sure. So I'm good with that. I'm good with that because, like I said, keep the main thing the main thing. We know they're gonna try to bounce it to the outside. So
But that's just the little league football, man. That's what we're gonna try to do.
yeah,
So
we just got to keep the main.
we know that.
Just try not to overthink it. You know, if we have to go to base, we'll go to our base and run the 5-3. It just hey,
Well, look, gents, man, it's been real. It's been nice, but like always, I'm gonna put my plug in for Inside the Sidelines coming to you the first of the year. And obviously, I'm gonna invite Coach Nate, Coach Harvey on. We're gonna talk about some good subjects. We're gonna have a good little content. So hope everybody tune into that. And we'll be putting that out here momentarily.
yeah. Don't worry, I'm finna come over there. I hope you got that damn heat on.
Yeah, the heat on.
Okay, cause the game come on CBS at 1 o'clock and it ain't on regular TV.
All right, we got it.
Okay, well, look, y'all gentlemen, take care, and we'll I'll catch up with y'all later on.
All right,
So,
man.
All right, man.
Appreciate y'all, Coach Nate. Y'all have a good one. Have
Man,
a blessed week,
yep,
everybody.
yep.
All right, y'all. That's gonna do it for the coach's corner. I appreciate everybody that came through, stopped through, whether you said something or if you didn't say something. But just the fact that you came through, I appreciate you. Um, And we finna go ahead and send this thing on over. Let's see, who we gonna go to? Let me see who we gonna go to. I know SB, he live on YouTube. And we're gonna send y'all over here to some nice little. We're gonna send y'all over here to some nice little music. One of the dope DJs. I think she's a dope DJ. Meta Spin. Y'all go check her out, man. Appreciate y'all. Love y'all. In the meantime, in between time, y'all stay blessed, stress less, and remember, keep God first. Keep God first, and everything else will fall into place. Remember that, y'all. Keep God first, and everything else will fall into place. So I hope everybody has had a wonderful, happy holidays. It's time to get back to doing what we do best. Get back to loving each other. Continue to love each other. You know, as we can prepare for these Christmas seasons, and also remember, there's gonna be a lot of first time for a lot of people. A lot of firsts for a lot of people dealing without family members. My children's mother, being one of them. It's gonna be a lot of firsts. So y'all continue to pray for those people and keep them in your prayers. Love y'all.